Cruise news time. Well, we're a few months in on the cruise restart and the numbers are starting to roll in. We've got some interesting gains, some interesting losses, and it begs the question, is cruising doing okay or is it doomed, as some may say? I didn't mean to rhyme that, but that's the major story today, but I got some other cruise news. Cruise news. Let's talk about it. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Lido, Loca. I'm your host, Tony, here with the latest cruise news updates. Well, I'm on location from Las Vegas, Nevada. What's the date? It is the 26th of September. It's a Sunday, and I'm having a great time in Vegas. I came here to meet some other YouTubers, some cruise tubers, the Ship Show, Sharon at Sea. They're having a meetup. They're having a big football meetup today. I'm getting ready to go to that. It has been a blast meeting people from the cruising community, connecting with people I've never met before, and it's really interesting that we're doing it here in Las Vegas opposed to on a cruise ship, but all is well. I've tested the fates and I've come out on top, so I feel pretty good. I'm having a great trip in Vegas. I finally got a lot of sleep. I stayed up over 25 hours the first night. I'm too old for that. But anyways, I'm sure you'll see good footage from Vegas. Make sure you're subscribed to Sharon at Sea and the Ship Show. But let's talk a little bit cruise news. And, you know, I've been concerned like everybody else. I'm a big cheerleader for the cruise industry. I've been concerned like everybody else. When cruising restarted back in July, it was awesome. There was a lot of great things going on. There was no testing requirements. There was no masking requirements on many cruises. And then the Delta variant kind of changed the game. And it changed the game not only for people that were cruising, but for people that were going to cruise. And so the cruise lines, they've talked about how they had really strong bookings for the rest of 2021 until Delta and the new restrictions came on board, and they saw those bookings tail off. So it leaves us in a quandary, like if the bookings are tailing off, what's going to happen in 2022 and beyond? Well, let me give you a few positives to think about. We have more and more cruise ships coming online, signifying that the cruise restart is moving forward. So this is really a pep talk for the cruise faithful that might be concerned that cruising could be going away. Look, the signs don't show that. We've got more cruise ships coming online. And this idea that more cruise ships are coming online brings us to the first two cruise news stories. First, let me tell you about the port of Los Angeles. I'm going to LA in just a couple days, and cruising has returned to LA this past weekend, September the 25th. The Grand Princess started doing cruises again. The Grand Princess will be doing cruises down to Cabo San Lucas, and this marks really the second big significant cruise port opening up there in California. Of course, Carnival Panorama has been going out of the port of Long Beach for a little over a month, and now we have the Grand Princess going out of LA. So that is exciting. And then another exciting cruise restart has to do, I'm staying in New York, but this I want to talk about New York, like on the East Coast, as we see cruise ships returning there. Very exciting, not only for New York fans, but also for Norwegian Cruise Line fans. The Norwegian Breakaway has resumed sailing from New York for the first time in the past 18 months, doing cruises to Bermuda through October the 31st. Again, these are just very, one-off, ports that are starting, one-off ships that are starting, but this stacks up to become more and more of a story of the cruise restart, even in the midst of challenging times like the Delta variant, and also in the challenging times of cruise lines losing money. Carnival lost really big in the last quarter. I'm going to tell you that story. I'm also going to share with you, I've been doing a poll month after month, how many cruisers are cruising, and it's interesting to watch that because I think that that's indicative also of the cruise restart. Two big stories coming up left. Before I get there, let me quickly invite you to subscribe. If you like staying up to date with everything that's going on in cruising, please consider subscribing with the notification bell on. That way you don't miss out on these episodes. You just get notified when the show comes out. That's what it's all really about, but it also helps me as we continue to try to get this cruise message out to more people. About 52% of you guys are subscribed right now. Please continue to support us by subscribing to the channel. Thank you in advance. All right, the two big stories. Carnival did their quarterly reporting, and they lost almost $2 billion during the last quarter. So cruise lines continue to hemorrhage money, as it were. However, by the end of October, half of Carnival's fleet will be sailing sailing again. Carnival Corporation, all 9 Carnival brands, 50% of that big fleet will be sailing again. And the interesting thing is when you look at the cruises that have occurred for the Carnival cruise ships, there's a lot of positive indicators there. Cash flow is up, and those ships are making money according to the reporting from Carnival at their filing for their earnings call. So those ships are making money, even sailing at 60% capacity, 70% capacity. They're making money, and they're finding that people spend more now than they did pre-pandemic. Spending is up 20% on cruise ships. So the takeaways that you can pull from that is that people that are going on cruising are really into it. There's a pent-up demand for people to spend their luxury and vacation dollars, and they're doing it on cruise ships. And then another indicator is that for 2022, the bookings are strong. So Carnival takes a big loss there, $2 billion, but even though that's troubling, I don't know if it's troubling or not, right? So the cruise lines have been certainly losing $2 billion is troubling. But if that is starting to be less than what they've lost over the last 18 months, where they've had to go out and borrow money when they're getting zero revenue, the fact that you're losing money, but you are also increasing the amount of revenue that you're doing because you're bringing your cruise ships back online, even though it looks negative, I'm going to call that a positive indicator also. Now, finally, the thing I want to share that is interesting, I've been running this poll for 3 months, July, August, September, and I asked a simple question: have you cruised yet in 2021? It's kind of funny, like when I posted that poll in July, people were like, what are you talking about? Let me just show you the results so that you can see the progression that we're making on the cruise restart. So looking at the poll results for July of 2021, I asked the question, have you been on a cruise yet? Only 5% of the people had been on a cruise at that time in July. Not surprising, 95% had not, 5% had. Now, as we move over to August, same question. At this point, 10% of the people that followed this poll, and look, 11,000 votes in July, 11,000 votes in August. I know, that's a pretty big sampling. Like, I've seen smaller samplings tracking along with this. And so we got a great, robust community. I appreciate all you guys out there. But yeah, in August, 90% had not cruised, 10% had. But as we slide over to September, this is pretty cool. I don't have the 11,000 votes in yet. As this poll continues to run, we'll see the number go up. But I thought it was worth noting here, of the 5,400 people that responded, 70% of the people have not cruised, but 30% have. So we went from 5% to 10% to 30%. And so you see an increase, at least with you guys out there in the audience, you see an increase as you see more cruise ships open up. And so all of this to say, the cruise restart is looking good. That's a simple question I want to leave you with. How do you feel about the cruise restart? Even with all the adversity and the protocols and the restrictions, all the numbers indicate that cruising is coming back. Are you feeling confident about cruising? Or do you still think it's a fool's endeavor? A fool's errand, I guess is what they call it. Do you think that cruising is going to have harder times going forward, or that the restart will continue to be positive? I know my answer, but I'm the cheerleader. So let me hear from the non-cheerleader people. Leave a comment below. Thanks so much for checking out the show today. Please hit the like button, or your monster craps roll, your 25-30 minutes craps roll, where you're hitting every one of the numbers, comes to an abrupt end when some yahoo sticks their hand in the layout when it's supposed to be hands high. If the shooter has the dice, don't stick your hands in the layout. That'll happen to you. Hit the like button. This is Tony with La Lido Loca, and I could have won $1 million. This is Tony with La Lido Loca, and until the next time, we'll see you on the Lido. Bye.